What's up, man? I'm just saying, like, a lawsuit, bro.
Yeah, big up everybody. J. Cole and CAMRON speak post beef. We'll be reviewing that in this video. Do you know what it is? I took my time to listen to the video. It's about hour and maybe about 20-30 minutes, and I just thought this is going to be from my memory now for the most part of it, but there's a lot discussed. In summary, the reason why and the background to it is this: Cam jumped on a project of J. Cole's at J. Cole's request in about 2024, yeah, and then they did it. So Cam was saying, look, normally with these things, the business is sorted after, because obviously with creative processes, sometimes people drop a verse or whatever it is, and then they'll make agreements about the money side of things after the fact. So he dropped the track. Obviously, Cam must have had it in the back of his mind the whole time. It'd be great to get an interview with J. Cole. As it happened, in terms of the business, when it came to the business, when the lawyers were discussing it, I think J. Cole offered Cam $300,000. Okay, Cam said, "Nah, never mind. Nah, never mind. All right." But the paperwork, I don't think the paperwork was all signed, so things were still a bit up in the air. The project gets released. This was on the collaboration Ready 24 from Cole's 2024 mixtape Might Delete Later. So the project gets released, and obviously in Cam's mind, he was just thinking the way how he do business is kind of like a with a man them. It's like a favor for a favor. You see what I'm saying? So I might drop on that for you. Do this for me. Maybe do a track, but in this occasion, you want an interview. Now, what happened basically is that J. Cole's just longing it off. He's not really saying I can come at a particular time. They had, like, I think they mentioned 1st of April, 1st of June, across. All right, say this is from 2024. We're in 2026 now, yeah. And every time J. Cole's longing it off. But for J. Cole, the thing is, up to that point, he'd actually worked on he'd worked up onto his latest project, and he just had bare things going. He's basically saying, with his creative process, he can't just stop and do this and do that. He likes to time things with whatever he's doing at a particular time. You see what I'm saying? So J. Cole's saying, "No, I just wasn't ready to do it. Then I had to do this. I had to work on this project. I had to work on that project. It just wasn't the time." And he said it wasn't on the disrespect thing, but then it came up to a point when the messages, and then he was longing it off. Then Cam was like, basically, Cam said that the lawsuit was just basically to get the brother's attention, to say, "Hey, well gone for this, man." Basically, pattern what you said pattern the thing. Obviously, I did that for you. You didn't have to chase me for it. Man did it straight away. What's going on? That's what's happened, basically, yeah? Now, J. Cole saying, "I couldn't do it. This was going on. That was going on." And then it just things were just not really going in line. And in the background to that, as you know, and I'll come on to that in a bit, because that's a separate segment, really, where J. Cole enters into the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So that's kind of the background to it. And J. Cole's saying it's not really a disrespecting. He's saying, "Look, brother, it just wasn't the right time." And he's longing it long enough. But then he's saying that, I think he's had a call with Cam, and he said, "Look, I thought, do you know what? My bad. Obviously, I need to look at things from Cameron's perspective." And I think maybe recently, I got the impression it was over the last sort of 6 months or so, he's kind of said, regardless of the fact that you've dropped a lawsuit against me or whatever it is, he'll still forward for the interview. Obviously, what you see here is a bit of banter in that, you know what I mean? Because the man them are saying, yeah, J. Cole's kind of like pulling up.
When she said fixing somebody's collar,
J. Cole's kind of pulling up on Cam mid-conference, mid video shoot, you know what I mean? Little piece of silence.
What's up, man? I'm just saying, like, a lawsuit, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, it weren't anything. They sat down and had enough time. So that's kind of what J. Cole's explanation for the thing was. It just wasn't the right time, and he forwarded anyway. And Cam said to the brother, "Look, I was just trying to get your attention." And he probably would. He said he gave the impression he wouldn't follow through with it, and yeah, he may well not have done. Actually, followed through with it. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's that segment of it. That's the kind of the first part, and then also what J. Cole discussed was him getting the record deal. I think he got a record deal eventually with Rock Nation and Jay-Z, and he said that he also tried to do the Kanye thing, providing the tape with a hope that he would either, get him via the producer side, because apparently J. Cole produces as well, and then get on, but then eventually did. I think it was meant his brother or his colleague's EB or something like that. I didn't really hear the pronunciation name that well, but he's gotten offered that, and then I think he's gotten did he move to Interscope after? He may have well moved to Interscope or another company afterwards, but he's saying that the thing got shifted. He got his masters as well. The thing got shifted from a sort of major sort of deal to a distribution deal, and in the process, he said he had a bit of leverage. Yeah, because he sold well. We'll look at that in a moment. And he got his masters, and he's kind of moved on from that. On the Kendrick and Drake thing, he's saying, because I'll be honest, J. Cole, if you're listening to this, I was one of the people who was saying, how can man forward into a rap battle? My hat's falling down. Hey, big up the coldest.co.uk. My hat's falling down. How can a man forward into a battle and then forward out of the battle? What kind of thing is that? Like, you can't do that in rap battle. But he's just basically saying that it's the people around him. Like, as much as he's hearing what the fans are saying, even some of his owner brethren were saying, basically, look, you can't enter into a rap battle and then kind of jump out the rap battle. And I was one of the ones saying that. I was like, you can check my ex post. I was just saying, how's man forwarded into the battle and then kind of trying to jump out of the battle? Do you see what I'm saying? So, but he's saying, look, he said that he does these writing sessions where he's like, either somebody produces as much they can in, I can't remember, I think like 6-7 minutes or a particular short period of time, or he would write certain bars in a certain period of time, 7 minutes or whatever it was, and that's how he kind of sharpened the pen to get more proficient at rapping by practicing all the time. And he's saying that the 7-minute drill is something that he kind of wrote out one of that sessions, but although he's saying quite dark things and whatever on it, he's basically saying that he didn't really mean it. His heart wasn't really in warring Kendrick Lamar. His heart wasn't really in warring Kendrick Lamar. And he's saying, look, I think it was at Rolling Loud or what, some sort of performance where he's gone and he's apologised, and he said he thought about it. He said that his wife's locked in with Kendrick Lamar's wife. There's kind of like a family circle going on, and they're like, his heart's not in it like that. Do you know what? I'm going to go to this performance and I'm going to apologise and I'm going to withdraw from the rap battle. And he's saying that's what he's done. He's withdrawn from the rap battle. Apart from that, in terms of his view on the rap battle between Kendrick and Lamar, I think by inference, I think he was kind of saying Drake didn't do so well out of it. And I think a lot of people would say that Drake didn't do so well out of the rap battle with Kendrick Lamar. Lamar forwarded back with a whole trailer load of Grammys and all of that. Not like us. You know, the thing ran couple summers and that. So he's saying he didn't like to see the brothers going at it, but he's saying that on a respectful side, because he's a man, like, because he's withdrawn, two things. Because he's withdrawn from it, he don't feel too comfortable to speak on that side of things. And also he's saying, in addition to that, creatively, and he's like respecting the other artist's creative process, he doesn't feel that it's for him to comment on what was going on. But he's also saying that Drake, he doesn't understand. It's like he feels like people were waiting in the wings to cuss Drake, and they're kind of ignoring what Drake's built up. Do you see what I'm saying? They're kind of ignoring, the awards, the platinum selling, and they're kind of like knocking that to the side because of one summer where Kendrick Lamar, I'll be honest, Kendrick patently obliterated Drake really. Let's be honest. But it is what it is. Win some, lose some, and all of that. But J. Cole is saying, even though that's happened with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, yeah, you can't ignore all of the history and what Drake's built up before then. And he's saying that people kind of took it as an opportunity. And I agree that people kind of took it as an opportunity to have a go at Drake. And that's what happened. Yeah, so that's what he kind of spoke on that part of it. So yeah, so he spoke, as I say, he's spoken on how he came into the music industry, his deal. He's spoken on the fact that he wrote a lot of stuff at a particular desk. I think his latest album, he said that he's recorded a lot of it on tapes, and they were talking about the difficulties between mixing digitally and mixing analog through the tapes and the different stages where you have to go to and how much longer it takes. And CAMRON is saying that his first music was recorded on tape, so he was familiar with how that sort of thing works and difficulties. J. Cole also touched on his sort of closeness with I think it's rollerboarding. What does he call it? Skateboarding. He's saying that he's grown up. He used to go to the skateboard as a youngster. I think he said skateboard park. I think he works at the skateboard park. He then has parties at the skateboard park. So the skateboard park's quite part of life. He also spoke on. He also spoke not just in addition to the skateboard. He also spoke on basketball. He's saying that he doesn't really see himself as a standout basketball player as such, and he's saying he's more sort of like a bit part basketball player, because Cam referred to the fact that they had a phone call and J. Cole was in Africa playing. I think he was playing for some professional teams in Africa, but then he said he didn't really see himself as a professional, so he didn't really pursue basketball like in the way that Cam might have. He referred to Cam's clip with Mase, where I think Cam shoots instead of passing the ball to Mase. I'm gonna be real. Most of the people who follow in the line of Michael Jordan, they would have taken that shot that Cam took. Let's be honest. As much as Mase is upset about it, a lot of them would, because the time was running out, and Mase was closer to the market, to be fair. But I think Cam he considered himself on form, so he should have scored. But yeah, that aside, but he's saying, I think J. Cole is going to I think he's going to China later to play. Cam spoke about his experiences in China as well, and I'm not going to go too much into it. But J. Cole said that he's going to China to play soon. So yeah, man, it was a good interview, very good interview. Other people have commented, and I agree that Cam gave J. Cole a space to talk. I do think this is maybe one of the first, if not the first, interview that J. Cole has done. J. Cole said that, it was all in his mind to go to Cam first, and he did. So the beef, look, a lot of this stuff, the man then fall out from time to time. They have disagreements and whatever. And to be quite frank, instead of the foolish violence and all of them things, this is, not that it would ever go to that with these man anyway, because it's not like that. It's more sort of legal and civil and all of that type of stuff. But what I'm saying is, sometimes just talk, man. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the people them just have to talk. And that's what they did on this occasion. So yeah, that was the breakdown with J. Cole and CAMRON. As I say, CAMRON. He's not Cameron Giles, as you say. He was a rapper first of all. He's still a rapper. He does rap freestyles at the beginning of his performances. His show. Sometimes he does it. What is what it is with Mase and Stat Baby. Big them up. He had some disagreements with Jay-Z. Parted ways with Rockefeller. He's a Harlem. He went to school with Mase. Long-term friends with Jim Jones. Got a few tapes. He's done alright. Let me see his discography. Confession of 5 studio albums, Crime Pays, Personal Haze 2. There's not too much about that there, but he's done bits. And yeah, that's Cameron Giles, and yeah, he's been with Diplomat, Virgin. Diplomat's his label, the Diplomats. Then J. Cole, as I say, raw. Yeah, man, the man. That's why it's his last album, because people want to move on and do different things. But I think he's saying this is the fall off. Yeah, he's calling it the fall off. I'm not saying that this is going to be. It may well be Cole's last album, but Jermaine Lamar Cole. He was born in Germany. I didn't know that. Actually. He was born in Germany. Cam's from America. J. Cole was born in Germany. Went to St. John's University. Cole World. Peaked atop the US Billboard 200. So he's easily. And Cameron said he rated him. They rate each other, man. So they're both good rappers. Self-taught on the piano. I didn't even know that. He's got credits. Kendrick Lamar, Janet Jackson, Young Thug, all these people began rapping at 12. Musical career. That's the logo that he's used kind of early on. He said some controversial things about a particular well-known bad boy. Well, no, I wouldn't say he said anything not controversial. He spoke about fighting Diddy, basically, but then he didn't really speak about fighting Diddy because he said that he didn't want to hit. But I don't want to go into that because I think people will have views about. Let me just lay it out. Basically, Diddy's in prison for certain things. A lot of people think that J. Cole shouldn't really be saying, "Oh, I don't want to knock him when he's down," when Diddy's doing certain things. Basically, that's the kind of gist of it. But and J. Cole said that his rationale for not talking about the detail of, and he did confirm that he did have an altercation with Diddy, but he's saying he's not going to go into the details of it because he don't want to hit Diddy while he's down. I'm not sure. I'm not sure man agrees with his approach to that, but that's his approach to it. You know what I mean? But in any event, that's the reason why I didn't go into the story as to what other altercation he had. But he did say that the versions of the altercation that he had with Diddy are not correct. But then obviously he's not forwarded back to say what actually happened between him and Diddy in said altercation. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, J. Cole basically platinum, beyond platinum, whatever it is. Basketball as well. Scarborough Shooting Stars, Canadian Elite Basketball League, and he's done. Even me, I'll put my hands up. Even me, people want to rap, people want to play basketball. People who play basketball want to rap. That's the thing, and he's managed to do both. Not in the NBA, so to speak, but he's obviously in the Canadian Elite Basketball League. 2.4 point. I mean, not brilliant, but he's probably taken most of his time up in music. As I said, yeah, there's some alleged altercation, 2013. I think that was 2013. Yeah, alleged altercation. But J. Cole's a big man now. Then he first collaborates on the CAMRON thing. First collab in 95 South 2021. Then Ready 24. And then there's a lawsuit against J. Cole in 2025. And collaboration agreed that would return the favour. That's the point of this video, really. And it was released, and the Cam had not released royalty for the song. But as Cam explained, I mean, you don't. If there's not really agreements necessarily before you do the music, but it was released. But it's obviously good to get the paperwork sorted out before things are released. But it's, it doesn't always often work like that in the music industry. But that's yeah, man. Do you know what? It was a very good interview. It was a very, very good interview. Very revealing. A lot of these clips are just going to be the previews to it. But yeah, man, that's what's going on. J. Cole sits down and speaks to Cam. Yeah, man. Good show. Big up the man them. But anyway, for now, I'm done talking. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Done talking.